So let's talk about parent. Who is a parent? And the reason this is important is especially with our group home kids, those kids who have been removed from the home, placed in a group home setting. And these group homes are either small, that is, they have 7 or 8 kids, and it's usually a small house, well, a large house, but just a house. Or it's more of an institutional setting where you might have 100 kids, and they're living in cottages or dorm rooms, situations, stuff like that. And the question's going to come up, well, who is the parent? Now, the courts almost never remove parent rights when it comes to education. They will, if a child is placed in a group home, in all likelihood, the group home has absolute authority when it comes to medical, dental, mental health. But the group home has no say when it comes to education. Those rights are maintained by the parent in almost 99 of 100 cases. So a parent then is the biological or the adoptive parents, okay, unless the authority has been taken away. And in a group home setting, it is necessary for the district to find the parents and to get the parents' participation and permission to assess, and participation in an IEP meeting. Permission, they have to sign the IEP meeting or sign the IEP document so that services can begin or continue. The IDA does assume that parents and districts are working together. This is not always the case, but that is the assumption of the law. They also assume that the parents will have a significant role, but that is not to say that the parents can simply say, I want it done my way. We're going to provide this service at this site for this amount of time, says the parent, and boom, that's the way it's going to be. No, the parent's not allowed to do that. In fact, the parent, although the parent must be able to participate to a significant degree in the child's IEP, the parent cannot make the offer of FAPE. Now, I have been in a number of IEPs where I've heard the principal or the school district administrator say, it's time for Emmett to go to an NPS, a non-public school. In that setting, he'll get the constant behavior modification and intervention that he needs so he can get all of his executive functioning skills, and he can learn some life skills and get back to the public school setting. Now, parent, I understand you're a little apprehensive about that, and you would like to view the NPSs. Well, I have 3 of them right here. Here are their addresses. Call them up, make an appointment, do a tour. Let me know which one you want me to send Emmett to. That's absolutely illegal. That is allowing the parent to make the offer of FAPE. That is putting aside the district's responsibility to offer FAPE. Now, the district can say, the district can arrange a tour, go with the parent on the tour, come back and have a discussion with the parent, and then the district says, we're going to send them to child help. And they did this in consultation with the parent, but they did not simply allow the parent to pick. That's okay, and that's good parent involvement. The district can never waive its responsibility to make that offer of FAPE. Okay. Among the most important procedural safeguards are those that protect the parent's rights to be involved in the development of their child's IEP. So, what does involvement mean? What are we talking about? So the school district is required not just to have the parent at the IEP team meeting, but to have the parent have a meaningful participation in the IEP team meeting. The parent how do you determine if the parent has made a significant and a meaningful contribution to the IEP? There's actually a ruling for that, and this is it. A parent has meaningfully participated when they are informed of their child's issues, they are attending the IEP meeting. That means they're attending the IEP meeting with knowledge, because you've sent home a draft of the psychoed, you've sent home a draft of the IEP, so they've been informed. They're attending the IEP meeting. They express a disagreement with the IEP, and that request results in a discussion and a revision of the IEP. That is the definition legally that came up at one of the fair hearings, that is often referenced by law as an indication, a clear indication, that the parent did participate. So this parent can never go back and say that in last year's IEP meeting, I really didn't have a say. Because in last year's IEP meeting, the parent came in with knowledge of the issues, participated in the development, argued, got the IEP changed, and then moved on, signed it. No doubt about it. A parent signs an IEP without arguing, without significant contribution. That parent can always come back and say, I really didn't know what was going on. I really didn't understand. I was overwhelmed. There were so many people at the meeting. That really isn't an informed consent. So I'm not saying start an argument with your parent, but if a parent starts to bring up an issue, embrace it, because this is your evidence you're going to need. Embrace it, note it, clearly discuss why the team agrees with it or does not agree with it. So the whole purpose of the IEP then, of the IEP process, is to ensure that the parents' interests are not overran by the district's interests, that the district is not stepping in and unilaterally deciding what the offer of FAPE is going to be. That being said, let's say, for example, let's go back to Emmett. Emmett needs that NPS program. Emmett. Yeah, we were sending Emmett to the NPS, weren't we? Let's go back to Valerie. Valerie was an OHI SLD student. Okay, let's talk about Michael. So Michael's in a general education setting. He's got 49% of his day. He's in an RSP setting. The district really needs to move him into an SDC class. They decide to modify the IEP and send it home to the parent for signature. No go. This is why, to change a placement, to go from RSP to SDC, number one, you should be conducting an assessment as a school psychologist. You should be conducting an assessment that supports that move or doesn't support it. I mean, of course, you're independent. You don't have to go either way. You're just going to go with the facts. Never try to do a change of placement IEP on the phone. Just call the parent, tell them we're moving them to SDC, get their permission, and say we'll send it home for signature. That doesn't work for a change of placement. It might work for a small procedural correction. Maybe the teacher forgot to update the percentage of time out of general ed. Fine. Do that as a phone addendum, but not something like this. Districts get in trouble when they overrun the parent and unilaterally decide on the offer of FAPE, even if that's in the best interest of the child. They cannot do that. They have to have parent participation.